What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez 45 is coming at you. It is on the Warpath. It's Warpath Wednesday, y'all. And like you get to see my beautiful face for a second time today. I took you on a ride to work. Mr. Amir is alongside me. And
Hello.
how are you doing today, sir, on this beautiful evening?
I'm doing all right, Mr. Sanchez. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. And, like they would say, if you're complaining, nobody's probably listening. But hopefully, we have folks listening to us because we're going to make it as lit as possible. So chime in. And if you haven't before, subscribe, like, hit those buttons, help a brother or brothers out. And we'll get right down to the chase here. And we talked about it, and I'm going out of order already, and we just talked about it. So, big news out of Washington today, which you don't really know what to believe when it comes out there. The Redskins aren't interested in Josh Rosen, which I'm happy about, but what do you say?
I'm perfectly okay with that. I was okay with either way. If they decided to pursue him, okay, sure, why not? Give the kid a chance. Don't sell the farm for him, but give the kid a chance, sure. But I'm totally okay with them not. I'm totally okay with them drafting their own and showing the fan base, okay, we're going out there. We are drafting a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be our guy. Pick 15, trade up to whatever kind of pick that we need to trade up to in order to get the guy that we need.
Right.
I will say I don't believe it's going to be Dwayne Haskins. I know it's not going to be Kyler Murray. I'm starting to think Drew Lock will probably get taken a little bit too early.
Yeah,
just to prevent from us trying to take him.
Yeah. I don't think he'll get past Denver. I think Denver's hot on him. So
yeah, which leaves really one or two quarterbacks left of the. I wouldn't say upper echelon because this isn't a good quarterback class, but it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
But at least Daniel Jones out of Duke and Will Grier out of West Virginia.
Yes.
Shout out to Virginia, by the way, winning the NCAA championship.
Woo, go Cavaliers. I got a video I might put up here of me celebrating. Because as you know, I work for an institution that works very close to them. So, wahoo wah. And Morgan Moses, I actually saw on somewhere, they said Morgan Moses was so happy he probably did a false start. So I was like, oh, you people, you dogs, you shouldn't do that to that man. But it's true, though. It is very true. But yeah, shout out to them beating Pat Mahomes boys, Red Raiders. And I'm surprised they didn't show a picture of Pat Mahomes after they lost, but they were showing the whole time in between. So I would have liked to seen Pat a little sad, and it kind of probably reminded him of the AFC Championship game that he peed away. But yeah, and you're not going to find a Pat Mahomes in this draft class, probably. But
no, but also it goes to my point I made last week. You didn't know Pat Mahomes was going to be Pat Mahomes when you drafted Pat Mahomes.
That's right. You just thought he was some gunslinger from Texas Tech.
That's right, and and just like this year, what if Daniel Jones does become Daniel Jones? I'm not saying, what if Daniel Jones becomes Peyton Manning because he's closer to the Manning brothers? Let him be himself. Let him be his own person.
That's right.
What if Daniel Jones becomes Daniel Jones?
Yep. And it's like what you and I talked about last week. We said, and I think a lot of folks tended to agree with us about finding the next Bill Belichick or finding the next Sean McVay. You can't find the next because there's only one. They're originals. They are that. They basically they're the golden disc of their class, and they only make one of those.
Yep.
So it's the same with quarterbacks. That no matter how great Peyton Manning is compared to Tom Brady, you're not going to have that. And Tom Brady is as great as Joe Montana. they're still not the same quarterbacks.
That's right.
So I mean, we can sit here and in the next wave. This is the next wave of quarterbacks. Your Goffs, your my homeboys. The Breezes and the Bradys, they're dying out. They've got maybe 3-4 more years ago. Even Aaron Rodgers would be considered in that class, and that's a whole nother headache there. What's up, man? You ain't late. You're on time. That's you're never late, Big DC. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's one of those things that you cannot absolutely replace it. That you can't make a copy of them,
right?
Because that was the case, the government would legalize cloning, but you can't do it.
That is true, and I still believe that and also we can't be afraid to draft a quarterback. We can't be afraid. That's because Griffin's career got ruined.
No, yeah, absolutely,
everything because he got too hurt, and we can't be afraid of that.
And Jason Campbell didn't pan out.
Patrick Ramsey. We have not had a Kirk Cousins was a selfish SOB. Whatever. Yeah. We haven't had a good run of drafting quarterbacks. No, we haven't.
No, we haven't had it with wide receivers either, but we'll get into that.
We will.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones is visiting with the Redskins tonight and tomorrow.
Ooh.
We have 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks and a day until the draft. We have 15 days away from the NFL draft, and we will definitely be.
Well, wait.
Are we doing a live?
Yes.
Draft?
Yeah, we are. We will be doing. We will be doing a live draft, as far as I know right now.
So we will be doing draft commentary for y'all.
Yes, we will. We will be doing draft commentary. And going back to Josh Rosen thing, if you think about this, and I said this last week too, I believe, by the time next season turns around, and let's just say Jay Gruden gets fired, that could happen. Theoretically, Josh Rosen in his first 2 years of being in the NFL would probably have at least 3 years, would have 4 coordinators. And as you think about Mike McCoy, Byron Leftwich, who else? Then whoever he has right now with Kingsbury. So that's 3 in Arizona. And then Kevin O'Connell or Jay Gruden or whatever. And then if they get fired, whoever comes in to replace them. So that's 5 systems that you've had to learn.
That's right.
So I mean, you don't want, and it's the same thing with Jason Campbell. It was with Jason Campbell. He had like 6 coordinators, and they said
same thing with Alex Smith. Yeah.
The same thing with Alex Smith, and that you saw once Alex Smith had consistency, what he did. He was able to run an offense efficiently. Yeah. I'm not saying he wasn't a world beater, but there's something to be said about continuity. And, people joke in the media, and that kind of gets on my nerves when I hear that too. They're like, well, they can pivot real well. That's the most ignorant thing in the world to say. That's like you're trying to break in a car, like just to drive it. Like, well, I put about 500 miles, and now I'm just ready to trade in. I don't think it's going to do. Yeah, of course you don't think it's going to do because you haven't broke the car in yet. So we'll see.
Oh, Sanchez, you there? Hello? Hey, folks, if you're listening out there, we are having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. But going on of what Sanchez was saying about the car and the analogy of the car breaking in, he's absolutely right. With Josh Rosen, you don't know, what he's got because you haven't really broken him in because of having 3 to possibly 5 coordinators in his first 2 or 3 years of his NFL career. I mean, that's hard to go through. That's like It's really hard. And here we go. We have him back now.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I didn't know I've been talking and running off at the mouth for the longest time. I didn't know that. But I'm glad you I'm glad you were still on here.
Yeah, I still got it. We're doing a little chatting here. So
Yeah. So I'll go
welcome
back.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't even know where I cut off at, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter.
Don't worry. We were talking about the car analogy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like the car analogy there. Yeah. So the problem with a lot of offensive play callers is they get in their own way. Jay Gruden is one of those coaches. Absolutely. I think that Jay Gruden, he and you and I talked about this too, Amir. That he's probably a great offensive coordinator, but he's not a good head coach because you can see it's just like stupid stuff during the game that, I mean, even the average viewer can point out and be like, well, why did you call a timeout here? Why are you like, it was against what was it? Great day in the morning. Like those little stretch of games back in 17 with New Orleans, and New Orleans came back and they had I think it was P. Ryan that needed to run the ball, or he had been running hot all game. And I think they gave the ball to Kirk Cousins to throw, and then they had to punt the ball. Also, I mean,
he couldn't get the yard. That's what it was. He got down.
Ryan couldn't get it.
It was 3rd and 1, and they set up in a regular. If I remember correctly, they set up in a regular running formation. They didn't overload the right side of the line where he was running to, like they should have. And I mean, because what they should have done was call in Ty Nsekhe as a tackle eligible, or as a eligible receiver to come in and block,
or boot out Kirk. That's what it was. That's see, and stuff like that. I mean, you know it. Yeah, absolutely. Jay sucks at in-game situation. I agree with you 110%. That's where one of his weaknesses is. I mean, granted, cutting players who say things about the system and everything, and then swear the fans up and down, and you're still on the team. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of things with Jay Gruden that that's a little problem. And, that's why his son was drove to drinking, like father, like son. The Grudens, they know how to drink, and I guess they know how to mess up in-game situations. So, don't get caught when you're going out there drinking, kids. But anyway, that's beside the point. And that was a low blow. We talk, and we get into talking about Jay Gruden's family, and his family. He sent one of his sons out to Oakland. Found a job in Oakland. Yes, I did. Sent one of his sons out to Oakland. And if you don't know who it is, it's his son, Ryan Grant, who the Redskins picked up in 2016 by way of, 14, by way of the 5th round in the draft. So, and you and I, we talked about this, and I said, we can't really name any wide receivers that have been above average in their in production in Washington. Yeah, in the Dan Snyder area. So that's back in 1999. So
wide receivers that we drafted.
Yes.
Let's point that out.
So y'all's boy went out and did some work. And I did this, and it took me a while. No, it didn't really take me that long. Wikipedia is a great thing. So the Redskins since 1999 have drafted 19 wide receivers. So if you're doing math, that's about a receiver a year. They all didn't get drafted consecutively each year, of course, but I'm going to give you some of these names and see if you remember them. Starting out all the way from Tim Alexander at 99, 7th round pick. Ethan Howe was a 7th round pick in 2000. And then here we go. Here's one. And I never forgave Marty Schottenheimer for that. I gave Marty Schottenheimer a lot of credit in Washington. Rod Gardner was drafted over Santana Moss. Let me say this to you again. Rod Gardner out of Clemson was drafted over Santana Moss. Now, that's the same Santana Moss who was traded 3 years later and had a hell of a draft, had a hell of a career in Washington. And yet, you might say that's 50-50, but I watched Miami when I was a kid, and Santana Moss was like, I always thought he was just a jack of all trades. And granted, Rod Gardner, he had some moments where he was like, he did help him win a game his rookie season against Carolina. But that's about it. That's really all he had to run to acclaim for. He was in there with the Schottenheim regime. Spurrier was 1 year with Joe Gibbs, and then they traded him to Carolina, and that was it. That's all you heard. So he went back home. Also in that draft, it's kind of like Kirk Cousins RG3. They drafted Darnarian McCants, who, I mean, if you watch the Redskins at this time, I always thought this guy would, 50-50. That's right. Yeah, he was half on, half off. So, and you might remember this one, Darnarian McCants. And I'd be honest with you, I thought McCants was going to be the way he showed flashes sometimes, especially I think in the 03 and 04. He had decent numbers for the Skins. I didn't look up his numbers exactly, but I think he almost had like 500 yards in one of those 2 seasons. Cliff Russell out of Utah in the 02 draft. He went out and played for Cincinnati and Miami. He didn't really have that much of a career. Then Steve Spurrier in 02 decided to take his boy out of Florida, Taylor Jacobs. I don't think he caught the touchdown in the NFL. So you see Taylor Jacobs, he was terrible. And then this is when they had traded. There was a little lull in between there, 03 to 08. And this is when you brought in Santana Moss, Randall L., Brandon Lloyd. You had some other guys in there that were kind of hit and miss. But then in 08, they were like, oh, we need to get some receivers. We got to give Jason Campbell some weapons. And what did they do? In their three picks, they trade out of the first round, trade back, and get 3 2s about it. And this is the same draft that Deshaun Jackson was in. Drafted Devin Thomas, drafted Malcolm Kelly. And then Fred Davis was sandwiched in there. Fred Davis was probably the most productive one out of the Redskins in this draft. Devin Thomas, he was serviceable at times. Malcolm Kelly never could get anything going. He was just big, tall, and glass. He was just fiberglass. Marco Mitchell in 09, Terrence Austin 10. These are 7th round picks. Leonard Hankerson from the U. He was all right. He had a 500-yard season back in 2012. Devin Thomas was a video vixen. Yeah, he was. I think he did highlight reels. A lot of people didn't realize this, and you and I talked about this too. Niles Paul was drafted as a wide receiver, converted to tight end, and I'll even say he's probably next to Jameson Crowder on this list, who comes up in a few ways. He was probably one of the more productive out of that draft group, and he was at tight end.
That was the 11th draft?
That was the 11th draft. Aldrick Robinson was in there too, who he had a good 2012 season where he was just a deep target.
Yeah, it's 2012 and 2013, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Ryan Gruden Grant, he was out there. Jameson Crowder in 15. He was a 4th round pick. He did really well. He almost had a 1,000-yard season. Evan Spencer, he never saw the field. He was just really a mercy pick for one of the scouts. Was his brother. Yeah. Josh Doxson, the jury's still out on them, and Robert Davis. Hopefully he can be healthy. And finally, and I heard a lot of good things about Robert Davis on Sirius XM. When he was getting drafted, they were talking about how he has the skill set to be productive. So we'll see if he can stay healthy. And then we've got
Mhm.
Mr. Irrelevant last year and Trey Quinn. So I think the last two, it's not really fair to put judgment on them. But Josh
No, not yet.
Doxson,
And I think Trey Clinton showed some flashes last year. He's just
yeah.
to stay healthy.
Josh Doxson, though, he's been disappointing at best. He is better than Rod Gardner, but I would still put him below Jamison Crowder.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I put him below Leonard Hankerson at this point.
I don't know if I would do that. I put them 1 and 2 maybe. But you think about it, in the last year, Jamison Crowder is probably the best wide receiver the Redskins have drafted. They've been fortunate with free agent pickups, trades.
Gerson,
Pierre
Sean
Garcon.
Jackson.
Yeah, those free agency pickups. Santana Moss in a trade had Antoine Randall L. Yes, we are going to talk about the upcoming schedule. But I mean, they got to hit. You got to think they're going to draft a wide receiver this year too. So we'll see. I don't know, but I just think
do
that
have him
this
in the
has
third
been
round,
an
taking Miles
ineptitude.
Boykin out of. Franchise there. Technical difficulty here. So yeah, our wide receivers, they've not had much good luck in the Snyder era whatsoever when drafting. If really your top wide receiver that you drafted was probably Jamison Crowder, which was a Scott McLuhan pick, and you really ought to take a good hard look of the way the NFL is now. Is it is a passing league. In order to win the championship, yeah, you have to be able to run the ball, of course. Which we do have three capable backs now of doing that in Peterson and Thompson and probably Geis if he can get going there. And now we get him back again. All right.
Yeah, I've been swinging and missing on this, man.
Says you left the call again.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I was ready to say you left again. I don't know why.
No, I just but hey, anyway, wide receivers, they suck. Whatever. Been very good. But
I was just going on the point while I was filling the air while you were gone.
yeah, okay.
That the way the NFL is now, how it is a passing league, and you do need those wide receivers and quarterbacks to get that going. But to win the championship, you still need to be able to run the ball.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which we do have a potential of possibly three backs capable of doing so, and both in Peterson, Geis, and Thompson.
See, you don't even really need an all-world wide receiver, and I mean, New England showed us that. Like, you can't really tell. Like, when they won those Super Bowls, you can't tell me outside of Deion Branch, you couldn't tell me another receiver. And Troy Brown, you couldn't tell me another receiver on those Super Bowl teams.
The first three Super Bowls?
Yeah. You couldn't.
No, I can't.
And one of them came to the Redskins, David Patton. So
I can tell you one that they did win a Super Bowl.
Randy Moss, Wesley Welker, Dante Stallworth.
Stallworth is where I was going because he came to the Redskins.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So, great receiver. You don't need great receivers. You just need consistent ones.
Yes.
Julio Jones didn't win a Super Bowl, but Julian Edelman did.
Julian Edelman won 3.
Yeah. Calvin Johnson didn't win a Super Bowl, but Danny Amendola did. So, I mean, you don't need great wide receivers, all world. Alshon Jeffrey, I think he's pretty good receiver. I mean, he's not like, you don't talk about him in the elite categories, but he does. He's consistent. Yes, he does the job. That's why Philadelphia won.
Like
and Nick Foles.
You don't need that Julio Jones.
No.
I'll throw AJ Green in there. You don't need a Julio Jones and AJ Green, a
Antonio Brown.
And Amari Cooper and Antonio
No.
Brown. You don't need that tier 0 receiver.
Yep.
Or the nice to have, of course.
Yep.
But you don't need it. You can get by with Alshon Jeffrey. You can get by with a Julian Edelman. You can get by with a who's the guy on the Saints that played there forever?
Oh, you're talking about Colston.
Yes, thank you, Marquise Colston.
Yeah, Marcus Colston. Yeah. So yeah, and it's like they said, you've got to have what makes Bill Belichick a great coach. He maximizes everything dealing with football. That's right. You got to maximize.
And he buys JVC.
Yes, he does. No, but in all seriousness, that's what you got. I mean, you don't need. I mean, yeah, do you need a great tight end? Probably, but you got to have a quarterback that's willing, that's a leader and consistent.
A great tight end. We
yeah.
When he's out there and someone is throwing him the ball, Jordan Reed is one of the best tight ends on the field.
Yes, but when you just said it right, when he's on the field,
yes,
keep your butt on the field.
Yeah, and then we have a very capable backup in Vernon Davis, regardless of his age.
Yeah,
and Vernon Davis is in way better shape than both of us combined. That's for sure.
Right, that's true. And Sprinkle, as long as he's not shoplifting from Belk again, I think he'll be all right.
I think he'll be learning his lesson.
What did I say that? But anyway, yeah, I mean, and DC Big O. Oh yeah, he's like, I like wideout from Ole Miss, who is not DJ Metcalf, but AJ Brown. I like Paris Campbell. I like the kid from Stanford, and I like Butler. These aren't the guys. They're.
Oh man, you're having bad connection troubles today, bud. We should transfer this to wide receivers coming out in the draft. Of course, you have the DK Metcalf and AJ Brown out of Ole Miss. You have Marquise Brown coming out of Oklahoma. You do have the kid from Stanford. You have lots of fairly decent wide receiver options coming out. Paris Campbell, as you said. Paris Campbell is a very nice prospect. I wouldn't mind taking in the second round if he falls to 46. There's definitely I wouldn't say a need, but a nice kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a nice thing to have when you are taking a quarterback in your first and a wide receiver to help them grow.
Yep.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is the most infuriating thing in the world.
Well, stop taking your neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I got my own jack. Anyway, we pay bills around here. Sorry. Anyway, what was I saying? What in the hell was I saying?
Oh, we were talking about wide receivers in the draft.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I said I don't want somebody to make a highlight catch. I want highlight wins. And I said, if you go back to any of those Odell Beckham games, and he makes a highlight catch, I'll put money on it.
They lost both of those games.
They lost in those games. That Dallas game and that Washington game. And I said each time, they've lost those games. So it doesn't. I don't give a damn. And you can say it's because of they have Eli. Okay, whatever. Who gives a flying crap? They didn't win the game. He can be great all he wants to. He's never won anything. He's never won anything of value. He played in one playoff game. Went to Green Bay. They got embarrassed. Anyway, but yeah, tight ends in this draft. They said they're. I was kind of looking at if the Redskins had to trade it for Rosen, see if they could have got like Hawkinson and
that'd be interesting. Like, what if like all the quarterbacks are taken at that point?
Yeah.
And
who do you draft?
Hawkinson is there at 15.
Draft his ass.
I would say yeah. I would say draft him.
And then suck for Tua.
No.
I know.
please don't. But you have him, and then maybe at that point you take Will Greer in the second round.
Yeah, I don't blame. Yeah, yeah. Take Willie Greer or your boy from was it NC State
or Ryan Finley? Yeah,
The one you're hard on. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, but and we'll go back to that. But hey, big news out of the NFL. So it's coming next week. Next week, I think we're going to be doing a lot of breaking down because I think the schedule's going to come out next week. Because
I think it is too.
I looked at last year's time,
and
it looks like it came out on April 19th. Next Friday's April 19th, so it'd probably come out on that Thursday. Hopefully, it's a Thursday. But preseason schedule was announced, and we don't have any nationally televised games, so that's good. And I like this schedule. I do. I think that the Redskins, who they're playing young, up and coming quarterbacks.
Yeah,
there'll probably be one in Cincinnati at the time, and then you get to test your mettle against probably one of the better quarterbacks in week 3 in Atlanta. Which you're playing Baker Mayfield, which he may not play. Freddie Kitchens. So that's gonna be a good week 1 game for whoever's gonna be playing. Case Keenum, Josh Rosen, Daniel Jones, Colt McCoy, Alex. For whatever quarterback, it'd be nice for them.
My lord, boy, your connection is terrible. So yeah, the preseason schedule. We start with the Browns. We got Browns, then we have the Bengals, the Falcons, and then the Ravens, guys. So, and I think this is a good point to bring up that I think maybe the Redskins might be a good contender for Hard Knocks this year. It's Jay Gruden fighting for his job. It's, possibility of drafting a quarterback where you'll have a rookie quarterback going there. And you have good preseason matchups where the Browns are probably going to be the AFC North favorite. You have the Bengals who are rebuilding. You have the Falcons who are always playoff contenders.
All right, y'all, I'm back here. I don't know what's going on with this computer today, but we keep on going off and on. Hey, man, can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. Amir got kicked off, and now I got to get him back on there. I'm sorry about this. This is my fault. I'm going to have to get my internet checked up on. But yeah, we are. I don't know what's the technical issues. My internet is just awful.
Yeah, did you restart your computer?
Yeah. No, I didn't restart the computer. I just we're disconnected. I'm like, okay, we can do this. But if we run through this, I think we should be good. But like I said, we are going to we're going to have a good preseason schedule at least. Cincinnati comes to Washington. Like I said, Atlanta, which I went to Atlanta Stadium in February. I think somebody is trying to steal my Wi-Fi. Now I'm going to find the bastard. I'm going to get him. I swear I will. I'm going to beat him up like Steve Davis got choked out by Michael Westbrook. How about that? That's for y'all old heads out there. But anyway, I mean, yeah. So you got the Falcons. I might go to that game. It's about 6.5 hours, 5 hours from me. Went to a conference there. Beautiful city. The only chocolatier city than Atlanta is probably DC, and I mean even that, like it's beautiful. It's pretty cool. Get to go to the fake news capital of the world. Then you wrap up against Baltimore for like third year in a row. You won't see Lamar Jackson. We'll get to beat up on RG3, hopefully, or he'll beat up on us. Doesn't really matter. That game's null and void. Still haven't heard anything about week 1, who the Redskins may be playing. So
I hope it's a Monday night against Vikings.
Why would you want a Monday night game? What is wrong with you?
Because at least it's a Monday night game with Kirk Cousins, and we know Kirk Cousins will shit the bed on Monday night.
You know, something would have to give. Something would have to give on that because we suck on Monday night. He sucks in national television, so something's got to give there. So you're absolutely right. I think that might be like a 4:00 game because it's going to be at Minnesota. So, you know who we'll probably start the season out with?
Who?
Let me see. Let me see if I can do this right. We'll start out in the NFC East at home. I want to say that for yes. We will start out at home, most likely in the division.
Yeah, it's the Eagles.
I don't know who it'll be, but most likely it's going to be somebody in the division.
Well, for some reason, the first week's always Giants and Cowboys for some god awful reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. Never got that. It's terrible. Well, not last year. They did play on Sunday night. Now I'm just paranoid and I pause every time we get out there.
Yeah.
I got friends who live in Detroit, and I hope we beat the brakes off of them. I got family in Saginaw, Michigan, so I always hope that we can beat the brakes off of them. You know, Washington has been bailing out Detroit for the last 15 years. Obama did it with the auto industry, and then the Redskins did it back in 2009. So, do you know interesting fact, Mr. Amir? The Redskins have not beaten the Lions since 2008.
Yep.
It's like one of those things. It's been almost 10 years since the Redskins. It's been over 10 years since the Redskins actually beat the Lions. So,
this is true.
Jim Zorn is the
beat them in the Matthew Stafford era.
Yeah, never have. Matthew Stafford, just like Cam Newton was up until last year, undefeated against the Redskins. I don't know what the Redskins' problem is with number 1 overall quarterbacks, and I guess when we play Kyler Murray in Arizona, we'll be 0-1 with him.
I don't believe we played Arizona this year.
Do we play Arizona?
No, we'll play San Francisco. No. We'll play San Francisco.
Yeah. Wait a minute, San Francisco, did they okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Third place.
Sorry, yeah, third place. So it's San Francisco. I think that's in Washington too, so.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then
I wish I was out here so I could go to the game, but
then the South opponent, I think we're at Carolina, is that right? Yeah. Carolina. Because the Falcons, I think, finished ahead of them. Maybe. Falcons finished ahead of them, and I know the Aints did. So, okay. So yeah, 49ers, yes. And then you've got that NFC, you got the AFC East. So you'll see Tom Brady and the Jets. So Darnold. So you're gonna see the one of the GOATs, and then you'll see one of the up and comers in the NFL. 2 places the Redskins have never won in. They'll play in Miami, and then in Buffalo they haven't won. So that's going to be interesting.
Another up and comer there is Josh Allen, and then also whoever Miami drafts.
Right? Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Or you might face Fitzmagic. Yeah.
And we found him for the first time since 2005 last year. That blew my mind. Like the Redskins have some of the worst luck against Ryan Fitzpatrick. 08 with the Bungles. 2011 with the Bills. 14 with the Jets. I mean, he's got the Redskins number. Like it's. Oh shoot! Sorry, no. Did I say 4? Hold on. What did I say? 15 with the Jets. 14 with the Texans.
Yeah.
In the first game in the Jay Gruden era, and then you've got the we talked a little bit about it. The NFC North is going to be and I think that's probably going to be one of the better divisions of football. I think you've got 3 teams that'll probably contend. Well, all 4 of them you can't really count out. I really do think from top to bottom they could have 3 teams in the playoffs because unless the Bears were fluky,
right.
And then you have the Vikings who they might be back. The Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford, they've got maybe Matt Patricia finally puts everything together there, and then the Green Bay Packers, which I think that their coaching hire was one of the biggest jokes in the NFL. Matt LaFleur told me all I need to know about what Green Bay wants to do. They want to stroke Aaron Rodgers' ego. They don't want to get better. It's the same thing with Arizona. They just want a flashy name. Nothing on God's green earth is telling me why Cliff Kingsbury should be a head coach in the NFL with a 35-40 record in college in the Big 12. You got to be kidding me. All you got to do, all those teams average 40 points a game. All you got to do is outpace them.
That's right.
So I don't, that's a joke. I think we'll see another joke in Cincinnati. Zach Taylor. They think just because people don't realize this about Cincinnati's head coach, he got fired because of the ineptitude of the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Kitchens. I don't think he's the right man to lead the job in Cleveland. So we're gonna see a lot of these new coaches.
No, they should have kept Greg Williams.
Yeah, exactly. And Pat Schumer, I don't think he's a great coach either. Jason Garrett, he lucks up because of the talent that Dallas had. And anybody that says Dallas isn't talented, there's something seriously wrong with you. And I suggest you should seek out help for that. They may suck, but they're talented and they've got speed. They got speed. That's another thing.
And they re-signed Hank Lawrence. So
yeah, they did. And that's another thing about all of this and drafting. And people say the Redskins need speed, but they need offensive line. Sanchez. The Redskins need speed, but we need the Redskins need speed, but the Redskins need speed. Say it with me together. The Redskins need speed. There we go. Not the shoot up, but the run up. That's exactly what they need. They need to speed up. They got to get after people. They got to catch up with these reps. They got to catch up with Amari Cooper. They're going to have to catch up with D-Jack. Who's going to have to catch up? Sterling Shepard just re-upped. So, I mean, they've got everybody's fast. Zeke, he's pretty quick. Jordan Howard, he makes people miss. Saquon, say no more. So what it sound like to me? They need speed. Got to get quick and to the quarterback and burning people. You got to burn these corners and everything. The Redskins need speed, but that's another one of my tangents. So what else we got here? So I found this interesting, and I kind of made mention of this morning in the morning video. The Redskins were voted out of all the Power 4 sports in the country, in the most miserable fan bases in pro sports. A lot of these NFL teams are on there. Number 1 was the Sacramento Kings. The the Buffalo Bills were the top NFL team at 3, but the Redskins, you dwindled down a little bit, and they are at number 15. And quoting this article, the Redskins were once one of the NFL's marquee franchises, and they won 3 Super Bowls between 82 and 91 and played in a 4th. And if you're younger than 30, which I am,
As am I.
you don't remember, all you know is pain and misery, and you
Yeah.
probably hate Dan Snyder with a passion. Since Joe Gibbs retired as coach after 92, the Redskins have only made the playoffs 5 times. They've only won like twice, and I think that little range. And Alex Smith, that's added to it. Joe Gibbs left, and then Joe Gibbs we thought he was this legend, and he looked like a joke when he came back, to be honest with you. Yes, we've been needing speed since the Snyder era. Yes, absolutely. I think the only speed we had was Santana Moss, and Randall L. even looked slow, and he was fast in Pittsburgh. That's another thing you got to do. That stadium's so shitty. They really just need to get the turf. They just need to get turf.
Yeah.
You're stuck in FedEx Field probably for another 6-7 years. At least make it enjoyable for the players to play on it, and they don't get hurt as much.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it, you practice in a freaking bubble, and that's field turf right there.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay the maintenance to upkeep it. All the bastards got to do, pick up the pellets and paint the lines. That's all you have to do. That's all. So, I don't know. But what are you thinking there, Mr. Amir?
I mean, it's true. I mean, we do have one of the most miserable fan bases. I mean, if you're part of that Redskins for Life group on Facebook, you know.
Oh, God, that's the worst thing in the world.
And, yeah, I mean, just knowing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had glimmers of hope a couple of the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most hopeful we had was the 05 season.
Yeah. 2012, maybe. 07, I mean, people talk about that around the Sean Taylor death. That team was running on fumes. It wasn't a really good team, but they got that.
They had that emotional drive in order to get the playoffs
because they when they met Seattle. I mean,
there was a couple bad calls. There was a bunch of bad calls in that game against us, though.
Oh yeah, and
I remember watching that game so pissed at the refs.
And then Landry, he had his first interception, his first 2 interceptions, I'm pretty sure. And then they a lot of people were upset. I think it was Anthony Nix who recovered the kickoff back, and because of NFL rules, you can't advance it. And we thought he had scored, and I was like, well, you can't do that. And I said, no, that's in the rules. That's right. You can't advance it if nobody's touched it. So it just becomes a dead ball from that spot. But anywho, I mean, nothing but misery. 15, misery. Kirk Cousins. Nobody wants to come to Washington. I firmly believe that. I have arguments with my family about this all the time. They'll get somebody to come here. Dan Snyder, and then Dan pulls this shit where you have a defensive coordinator and he allegedly interviews Greg Williams, the guy who he slighted back in 2008, and Todd Bowles and say, hey, I'll come and pay you to be the defensive coordinator. Well, shouldn't Jay be doing that?
He should be, but Jay should also be involved in picking the players that he coaches.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
And of course, if he's one of these top, secret talent evaluators, then he definitely should be involved with those picks. And he wasn't. So,
right. So
the more I think about it, the more I don't think that they're gonna go quarterback this year.
Yeah, and Big DC, he's at. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. The more I think about it, the more I don't think they're gonna go quarterback this year, because I think that Gruden's out the door after this year, and why are you gonna draft a quarterback to learn one system just to get a guy out the door and him have to learn another system
Yeah.
next year,
You're
hinder his
right.
development. So I would say suck for Tua. I'm not saying take it all.
Right.
How you and I think.
Yep.
But if they happen to be horrible for Herbert, why not?
Right. Oh no, absolutely. And you and I kind of misstepped when I said this, but no, you're absolutely right. You said we can't put the whole stadium misstep on Snyder. As much as I hate to say, but Mr. Cook deserves something. But I think he deserves all of it because he couldn't get. Well, no, I won't blame Mr. Cook. While he was an arrogant prick, Mr. Cook and the mayor of DC at the time, I can't think of what that lady's name was, but that's a lot of reasons why the Redskins aren't in DC anymore. Is because of that little mismanagement. And it could be on both sides. And then Mr. Cook said that the team would go to the highest bidder and not his son John. So I mean, there's a lot of situation there. I think that Dan he could have or he trusts the wrong people to make those stadium decisions. Bruce Allen even came out in the stadium and said he's like turf is never going to be an option.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we're not playing in the 1970s anymore. You don't need
This isn't your daddy's Redskins, Bruce.
No, this isn't your daddy's Redskins, and this isn't your brother's Virginia. So you need to get over yourself. Sorry, gotcha. Oh, damn, politics. Got him. Get out. Anyway, but yeah. So I agree with you, DC Big, but yeah, I mean, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But right now, we're living in top 15 of misery. We've got a lot of stuff coming up here too. You got anything else, Mr. Amir?
No, nothing to announce right now.
Okay.
So, some things I'll talk to you about, afterwards.
Yeah.
So, but that's about it.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna we're in contract. We're in preliminary discussions with Redskin Ranter. We're gonna get him on here. Don't forget to listen to the podcast. We gotta get that. I gotta get on creating one of those again, and then we're gonna have the draft previews. Probably the schedule. Yes, Sharon Pratt Kelly. That's who it is, Mayor Kelly. See, if it was Marion Barry at the time. Marion Barry, he would have got it up there. He wouldn't have said. He probably would have said. He would have went from saying that B set me up to that old Cook set me up. That's what that would. And that's all. Really, to be honest with you, that's all they would have had to do. He just had to give Marion Barry a little bag, and he'd been fine. Rest in peace, Marion Barry. He was the people. He was the people's mayor. But anyway, yeah, he would have loved to have the Skins back there. Anthony Williams, probably. Now you got Mario Bowser, who's like, oh, now they've got to change the name. Oh, this isn't good. See? But we'll see. But the Redskins, hey, they've got that empty space out there that nobody's doing anything with at RFK. But you're caught up on some name. That's a different debate for a different time. But yeah, hey, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, well, we got a lot of stuff coming up. The draft coming up in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow, and then also the we'll do a schedule preview, which that'll probably come out next week or the following week, and we'll be right here live talking about it, and we'll break it down, and we'll give our way too early predictions on where the Redskins will be. I'm predicting over and under on 6 wins.
I would agree.
Over or under?
I'm going under.
Under. Okay. Well, we know what he thinks of his so-called favorite team. So.
Oh, don't even. But I did mention this on one of the points where you got kicked off your neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Kiss my ass.
But I think with this preseason schedule the way it is, and the kind of I guess you can say drama surrounding the Redskins this year, they kind of are poised to be a good contender for Hard Knocks. What would you think of that?
Yeah. I would. I'm not gonna be a big fan. But I will tell y'all this. Go on Redskins YouTube channel. They got Redskins 365. There's 2 episodes on there. It's pretty good. I mean, it actually makes the Redskins look like they're willing to want people to come into the door, and maybe this might be a way to. But I will tell you this: there has not been a raw, direct interview with Bruce Allen. They clipped stuff from when he talked to Larry Michael on Redskins Nation.
Oh my gosh.
Barry had a deal in principle, but we all know what happened. Yeah.
You know what the fan base needs is they need a town hall with Dan Snyder.
That shit ain't never gonna happen.
No, it's not, but it's what we need.
That is, and I'm gonna give you a sideways comment on it. That is the smartest, dumbest thing you've ever said. Because I say it's smart because it's common sense. And I say it's dumb because you know it's never gonna happen. Yeah. So it's not really an attack on you. You know where I'm coming from. I think that's a great idea. And it makes sense in a perfect world. It makes sense in a terrible world.
It makes sense in a common sense world.
Yeah, it makes sense in common sense. But one thing about with the Redskins and common sense, they may have sense, but it's sure as damn common. So we'll see. Yeah, but we will continue this. But stay tuned for us next week. I'll be putting up videos. If there's breaking news, one of us will be putting up videos and being like, "Hey, this is what's going on." You get to see our faces. I got the mount in the car, so you can drive with me and we'll talk. We gotta get up to 1,000 subscribers now for me to do live, and we can shut up. And we can you're a jerk. But anyway, so we can keep on doing this, and we can do it live anywhere you want to be, however you want to be. This is wait a minute, shoot! I'm thinking I'm on Colin Cowherd show now. Yeah, but anyway, we love you guys, and we will be talking to you real soon, as we always say here on the Warpath. Love, peace, and hail. And we'll be talking to you real soon. Thank you guys, and hey, whatever you think. Comment, subscribe, like, share, do all that good stuff for us. We appreciate the support. We are out.